Hey, what is up guys, it's the AZ Gamer here, and today I'm going to give you guys an awesome $600 gaming PC build guide for those of you looking to get a beastly computer at a reasonable price. As stated in my previous build guide video, all prices are based on Amazon and Newegg, and I don't include operating systems, disk drives, monitors, keyboards, mice, etc. in these build guides because those components don't need a guide. So without further ado, let's get into the $600 build guide. Starting off with the CPU, we have the AMD FX 6300. It's a 3.5 GHz 6-core processor with turbo boost up to 3.9 GHz and very easily overclockable up to the ranges of 4.5 GHz. Has about 6 megabytes of level 3 cache. 6 cores is very useful if you have a gaming PC, because meaning you can also do other things with the PC. Games today usually use around 4 cores. A lot of PCs nowadays, a lot of games nowadays like Dragon Age Inquisition, Far Cry 4, and I think other games like Middle-earth possibly don't work with dual-core CPUs. For quad-core CPUs, probably like in like maybe 8 to 10 years, they might become not working with video games, because there's proof in that because Microsoft and Sony went with 8-core CPUs in their consoles, meaning they're trying to future-proof for probably the 8 to 10 year generation, like usual console generations, meaning 6 cores will last you a long time. If you ever feel like your speed is dropping, you can overclock it to really high levels. One of the best overclocking CPUs in the market. Runs with the 32nm architecture using like 125 watts of power, which is basically AMD. AMD is not always as power efficient as Intel. Now for the motherboard, moving on. The motherboard we chose was the Gigabyte GA978DS3P ATX motherboard. It contains 4 RAM slots up to 32 gigabytes of RAM, has like 6 SATA ports, and runs with the AM3 socket, which is what the AMD FX CPU used with all the FX CPUs. It has USB 3. It has pretty good heat sinks for those that want to overclock their CPU, and overall it's a sturdy board. Gigabyte has their anti-static boards. One time when I was building a computer, I was careless a little bit and I ended up putting on a static surface. Nothing happened. It's a Gigabyte board. They're really known for their durable motherboards, and overall priced at $75. It's pretty good. And yeah, the CPU, forgot to tell you guys, that's $99.99, meaning $100 at Amazon. That's pretty good. It has Prime shipping, so 2-day shipping, really good deal. The Gigabyte board is $75 at Newegg with $2 shipping unless you have a Newegg Premiere. And let's move on to the memory. We chose the G.Skill Aries series, 8 gigabytes of RAM. Also chosen in my last build guide the $450 one because this is an insane deal. Right now $55 for a limited time at Newegg. It's DDR3 1600 MHz speed, 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is getting more and more useful as we go on. A lot of games don't work with 4 gigs of RAM anymore, otherwise you're gonna have to drop settings. Like Call of Duty Advanced Warfare uses 5 to 6 gigs of RAM. Also, you want to use your computer for other things, not just video games. Like video editing, I know Adobe software uses way more than, it uses around 6 to 7 gigs when doing like decent 10-minute videos, 10 to 30-minute videos like I do. And I have 8 gigabytes of RAM on my computer, so I know I need to upgrade that soon. But for a gaming centric build, 8 gigabytes of RAM should last you a while. Even the next gen consoles have 8 gigs of RAM, so with a cache latency of 9 to 1600 MHz speed, it's a good deal. So for the hard drive, we have the Western Digital RE3. It's a 1TB hard drive, good enough to store many games, pictures, movies, etc. Whatever you want on your computer. 1 terabyte should suffice. It's $43.50 with $4.50 shipping at Amazon, meaning they don't have Prime with it, but total $47.99, basically $48, which is a good deal. You get 7,200 RPM speeds, 32 megabytes of cache, which is decent, though I'd recommend the Western Digital Caviar Blue because it has more cache, but then again, that's $10 more. Not everyone's willing to spare that. I'd rather go to a video game or something like that. So for the video card, we went with the Sapphire Radeon R9 280X 3 gigabyte. More and more VRAM is being used in lots of new games. VRAM's used for textures, lighting, stuff like that, more intensive stuff. Middle-earth Shadow Mortal is one of the games that uses the most VRAM. It has many settings, like it detects your video card and tells you what you like, depending on how much VRAM you have. 2 gigs, 3 gigs, and then if you want the ultra maxed out textures, you need 6 gigs. So yeah, more and more games are using more VRAM, so 3 gigs of VRAM is good, seeing as how the memory bus is 384-bit, which is very good. Love that about AMD cards as opposed to Nvidia. And the card is priced at $230 on Amazon, Prime shipping also, so really good price. AMD recently dropped their prices, and this card should be good to max out all games at ultra and play some more games at least medium to high settings at 1440p. So if you just have a 1080p monitor, this game will max out every game no matter what it is. For the case, we went with the Corsair Speco 1 Red. We wanted to go, since this is a little higher end build than my previous $450 build, this is a $50 case and it looks really nice. I've built with one of these before. It was a Speco 3, but the Speco one still looks really nice. Has a big side panel, 2 front fan slots. I think one is included, or 2 maybe. They have red LEDs. The case is one of my favorite looking cases. It's $50 on Newegg. Has many features, a lot of space, good cable management. I've worked with one of these before, and overall it's a sturdy case, well built. Corsair is known for their well built cases, so there's no worry with durability or whether it'll break or some plastic pieces will come off, so you're good in that department. So overall, really good case, recommended definitely for $50 on Newegg. For the power supply, we went with the EVGA 500 watt 80 plus bronze certified power supply. Now, this power supply is not modular in any way like the OCZ power supply in my previous $450 build guide, but this is 80 plus bronze certified, not just 80 plus. So this is like 85% efficiency. It's more efficient seeing as how this build uses 444 watts, and this is 500 watt power supply, so we need as much efficiency as we want. If you want a little more headroom, you can go up to EVGA 600 watt, which is not much more, maybe $10 to $15 more, depending on where you buy it. This is $40 on Amazon, an awesome deal. EVGA has pretty good power supplies. None of them ever went dead on me, ever. And overall, it should power the video card and CPU well. Unless you start to overclock, then you're probably going to need another power supply. This is on the verge. So, yeah, all in all, the $600 PC is far ahead of the PS4 and Xbox One. That's not even competition. In terms of the PC world, you should max out every game at 1080p if that's what you aim to do. If you're playing on like 1440p monitor or 1600p, prepare to play at medium to high settings. But if you want to max out games there, you might as well throw in an extra 280X. Though with this motherboard, I think it's like one of the PCIe slots is times 16, another is times 4. So you can't really crossfire that well. I wouldn't do it. It'd bottleneck it badly. Overall, this build is really well future-proofed. It should last more than the console generation, as it's much more powerful than the consoles and has the same RAM, 6 cores instead of 8 cores like the consoles do. But the consoles have 2 cores reserved for the OS. So basically, the consoles have 6 core CPUs with a much lower clock speed of like 1.6 to 1.75 gigahertz. So overall, this PC is a really good PC. I definitely recommend it over the $450 one, but of course if budget doesn't allow, definitely go for this one by all means. And pretty awesome PC. I would definitely recommend it. And thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, leave a comment below on whether you plan on building this computer, what kind of computer you currently have, or if you're contemplating between this build and the $450 build. And I would be glad to answer your questions on what kind of parts you should get, what do you think is better, AMD, Intel, Nvidia, whatever. I can answer all those questions. And yeah guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.